A Prophet of Thought series, exclusive.
Open your mind.
The Prophet of Thought. The Prophet of Thought. You know. The Prophet of Thought. The Prophet of Thought. Open your mind, 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 open your mind.
Peace, folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Prophet of Thought series. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why you are here. Now, tonight, y'all know we usually don't get down on Monday nights, but tonight is a special night. I'm going to be talking with Lady Melissa McKinney's and Brother Muhammad. From the title, y'all already know what's going down. T.P.O.T, demanding justice for Danye. For those of you who don't know, a few months back, Brother Danye Jones was found hung in his backyard. His mother discovered him hanging in the backyard, and it is our belief that he was murdered. Now, officially, they're saying that he hung himself, but of course, we do not believe that. I've been speaking with Brother Muhammad, of course. Those of you who don't know who Brother Maurice Muhammad is, very powerful brother. He's been handling her media affairs, so tonight she agreed to come on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page along with Brother Muhammad, and I think she's going to have some family members with her as well. So tonight is going to be a very, very special show. We're going to get to the bottom of this. They have some new information that they're releasing exclusively right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, because I have been in communication with Brother Muhammad over the last couple of days, and they have some new stuff that no one knows, but you're going to know about it tonight right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. It's going to be a good show, y'all, so it may get a little emotional. You will probably learn some things about the case that you didn't know before. So you know, it's not the usual T.P.O.T. it's a little different, but those of you who follow the Prophet of Thought series and have been following us for a while, you do know that this is in our wheelhouse. We talk to many mothers who have had sons and daughters, killed under, nefarious circumstances. So unfortunately, Lady Melissa has become one of those amongst the ranks of mothers that have appeared on T.P.O.T. due to the fact of an untimely, unseemly, and also questionable death of their child. So it's going to be one of those shows tonight, y'all. I'm glad y'all are here. I appreciate you coming through tonight. And looks like there's Brother Muhammad now. Peace, Brother Muhammad.
Oh, peace and blessings, big brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I was just telling the folks, what we got going on tonight, because they're not used to me coming on a Monday night. So they know it's got to be a special reason if I'm on a Monday. So I was just kind of filling them in what was going on tonight.
Oh, yes, sir. Perfect. We're still getting with Melissa to make sure she gets on.
Okay.
So she's not having any computer issues. So she should be on in a minute.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So how you been, brother?
I've been doing pretty good. Okay. I've been doing pretty good. And yourself?
Yeah, can't complain. I could, but no one would listen. No one would care. So doesn't make any sense to do it. So, I got nothing to complain about. I'm okay. My wife's okay. My offspring are okay. So, I don't have a lot to complain about, man. I really don't.
Excellent. Yes, sir. So you'll definitely, we have new information that we're going to release tonight on your ear.
Okay.
And so I'm definitely looking forward to this.
Okay. Well, I wanna thank you, Brother Muhammad, for keeping me in the loop, with what's going on, and I appreciate the fact that you and Lady Melissa chose T.P.O.T, to release that stuff, because you could have released it anywhere. You could have released it on your channel. You could have, but y'all picked T.P.O.T, man, and me and the T.P.O.T affiliates. We appreciate it, brother. We do.
Oh, yes, sir, bro. It's a pleasure for you to have us on, for us to be on with you, because, some people don't want to touch this, just to keep it 100. Some people don't want to touch it. But you offered since day one. Since day one, and that's very much respectable and loved. So most definitely, we're going to definitely be on your platform. This is something that we gotta make sure that we do and we honor.
Okay, I appreciate that, man. I do, because this kind of stuff, man. I know a lot of people don't like to, I guess they don't like to deal with it, but see, I don't have that fear. I guess they have a fear of what Google and YouTube is going to do. They have a fear of their audience. I don't know. See, me, I don't fear any of that. So I mean, I just don't have that apprehension. I mean, she's always welcome on here. I mean, it's unfortunately this is in our wheelhouse, and this is the stuff we do. So I was just telling the folks a few minutes ago, that, she has become amongst the many that have been on this program talking about the very same thing, unfortunately, but I'm glad she wants to come on and talk about it. And she's welcome. She's welcome on here anytime. I mean, anytime. You too, brother, welcome on here anytime, man, anytime. So it's all good, man.
Yes,
so I guess we'll wait for her to come on and get to the big stuff. But I mean, how is it progressing? How is the whole investigation, the situation, the autopsy report, that kind of thing? Is it progressing at all? Is anything kind of moving forward?
Yeah, we got the autopsy report back. And of course, it had its many errors that were in there. And she'll be talking more about that tonight. She's also be talking more about, I really don't want to go in it, but she has some more good stuff to talk about. or not necessarily good stuff, but more packed information so everybody can see. One thing that really, I guess I shouldn't use the word amazed, but you know, when the enemy is, they're really stupid. Okay, first when they're saying that he committed suicide, and they're using measurements to say that yes, he was able to hang himself, and they got the measurements down like he was 5'7". And they're giving all the measurements according to a person that's 5'7". So when you actually do the math, yeah, a person 5'7" probably could have done that to themselves, but he wasn't 5'7", he was 6+. So that's a lot of measurements that's off. The mathematics just don't work. And you know, by them using those numbers and then actually publishing it in the report, you know, it shows a lot that they're off key, that they're off base. And at the end of the day, they really don't give a damn. But these are a few of the instances that were in error. I think she may be playing the 911 call tonight as well. Okay. So that everybody can hear that, because, you know, the enemy wants to make mischief with that. Because during the 911 call, we will hear where she was saying, you know, why did you do this? Why did you do this? But we have to remember, you know, this is her raw seeing her son. You know, this is actual seeing everything as it showed out. You know, so of course, if you see your son like that, you know, it's going to automatically come up in your mind. What in the world? Why did you do this? Why would you know? And the enemy wants to try to use that to make mischief. So she'll explain exactly what was going through her head when she was saying that. And we have to remember that once the situation began to calm down and she begins to think, then you will hear different things coming out of her mouth. And they're trying to use the effect of her anguish, saying that she knew that it was a suicide or some foolishness like that. But we know that that's not the case. Also, we had a development with the Nation of Islam. We were aware that on your program, I think it was when you interviewed me on there, that's when it really started, that I went into a little detail about the wrong. And from there, I did another video about it. And it's made its way to Minister Farrakhan, from my understanding. So they are popping. We've had a meeting. We've had 2 meetings with them since. The first was at Melissa's house, and they were there trying to get their side understood. Okay, I'm getting an update. Melissa says she'll be on in about 15 minutes. She's still trying to get it worked out. So, you know,
is far as their safety goes, their property, I mean, what's going on there? I mean, are there people there? Are they still under threat? Are they what's going on with the premises?
Yes, they're still there, under threat. Nothing has changed on that. Their security system, they do have cameras and motion sensors. Need to get a few more to tighten it down. We were hoping by now, from the first meeting with the Nation of Islam, that we'd have already had everything worked out and all that by now. But after the second meeting that I had, just me and the local captain here, and he was explaining me the protocol or what's taking so long. So, you know, to me, it's still, you know, some more of the same. But one thing that is for sure is that we cannot depend on any other organization to do for us. We have to create what we need and to put it into place so that we can be ready. Because, you know, sadly to say, that other organizations, they have their own thing that they have to weigh. you know, or whether or not it's important enough for them to get involved. And I don't see the urgency as it should be, just to be truthfully speaking. I don't see it. We all know that Minister Farrakhan did the Justice or Else march and was going around speaking about justice or else. And out of the Justice or Else, there was supposed to be a group called the 10,000 Fearless. And that group was supposed to be trained by members in the Nation of Islam to go along with the FOI to secure our communities. Well, here in St. Louis, that doesn't exist either. So, you know, this situation is pointing out a lot of flaws that are present that I know I didn't think were a flaw. I didn't think was an issue. But other people have been saying that they've been seeing this for years. Unfortunately, now I'm getting to see it. But I do have a willingness to make sure that we do everything that we can to make it right. And the best way to do that is to build our own military, to have our own soldiers.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, you know, we have to have some type of security force, strike force, some type of militia, if you will, to respond to these things. I mean, if even if this is all they do is respond to these things, you know, of course, you know, we would like them to be able to respond to other things too, but these particular incidences actually need someone to be able to respond. And I mean, respond, you know, with the quickness, you know, not respond 3 months later, like that day, you know, the next day they're there. So,
exactly.
I mean,
you know, I wish that everyone, well, we weren't around then, but I wish everyone really understood what Malcolm X was saying about, you know, you have to be able to strike back when the enemy strikes. I wish that everyone was understanding when Dr. Khaled was here and he was saying, you know, we got to have this army, we got to have this militia, we got to be prepared. I wish that our people were understanding when Wesley Snipes was saying it before they sent his ass to jail, that, you know, he was trying to get his squad together, his security for the Amin-Ra squad together so that they would be able to do what need to be done. I think we have gotten comfortable with looking at other people and saying, well, you're already organized for that, so we'll let you do that. And now we're caught flat-footed. And so we need to make those changes quickly.
Yes. Well, let me ask you this, Brother Muhammad, should we bring in you know, ex-military guys? Should we, I mean, who do we bring in? Who do we get for this, you know, for this strike force? Who do we bring in? I mean, who do we have do it? Who do we have train others?
Yeah, definitely ex-military. And I'm very proud to announce that my organization, the Initiative, we're getting a lot in. We're getting a lot of ex-military in, and they'll be able to train, to do the training that our people are going to need. I just wish that we were a farther advanced than we are right now, because honestly speaking, I would say we're like at least 6 months away from actually having forces on the ground. But, you know, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. And I do thank our brothers for stepping up and to say, here am I, you know, let's get it done. So, you know, we just need more of our people not to be afraid. You know, these militias, they operate openly. It's not a secret what they do. It's not a secret of what they believe in. Hell, it's not even illegal for them to organize. It's not illegal. And our people seem to get afraid that even to mention the word military or militia and saying that you want to build that, like, you know, hey, we're committing a crime. It's not a crime. It's in your lawful rights to be able to do it. You just have to be man and woman enough to say, fuck it, let's get it done.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's about at the end. Let's get it done. You ain't got nothing to fear, but we got to get this done.
Yeah, and you would think, you know, because our folks, you know, and me too, right there included, we often use the term when we talk about black society, we often say, well, white people do it too. Guess what? Guess what? White people do this too. It reminds me of a story. I remember a few years back, there was an old white man, a cattle rancher, right? And I'm pretty sure people out there are familiar with this story. He was letting his animals graze on federal land, right? And the government wanted him, the federal government wanted him to pay, XY amount of taxes for letting his on this land. And he told them no. So what, they came out there and they told him, well, you know, you're going to have to pay these taxes, or we're going to take your cows and your horses and all of that. So what happened is a militia formed up. And when the government came back with their guns and their trailers and ready to haul this man cows away, these who surrounded this white man drew down on these federal agents. Okay, they did. They packed up and they left. They packed up and they left. Okay, and these white people actually gathered around this farmer. They gathered around this farmer man and drew their guns on federal agents, and the federal agents packed up and went home. And he was doing something that was quote unquote illegal. They actually came there to confiscate his cattle because he wouldn't pay these taxes. And when people heard about the story, white folks heard about the story, they all came there with their rifles and their guns and their AR-15s. And when the federal agents came, guess what? They were looking down the barrel of guns. They packed up and they left. And they left without that man's cattle. They left without any damn money. And they left without one shot being fired. So it's not as if it's not being done. It's just not being done by us. Exactly. Because for some reason we feel like we can't do this stuff. For some reason we're afraid. You know, we're afraid to circle and gather around each other and protect one another. See the way they protected that white man? I would like to see us protect each other that way.
Exactly.
Against the government. I mean, nothing would make me prouder to see that happen. To see black folks come together and protect this other black person against the government. Big Daddy government packed up and went home. They packed up and went home. So we can do this stuff too, man. I mean, we can do it too, but we have to want to.
Yes,
we have to have the will, man, and the desire and the interest to do it, man. We just and oftentimes it just seems like, you know, something's stopping us, man. I know a lot of us are scared of white folks. I mean, and I know a lot of y'all out there just scared of white folks. I know that. I understand it. I do. But see, you have to get over that, man. Get over that fear of white people and get over the love that you have for them too. Because a lot of us, we just love white folks. That's why we don't want to do it, because we just love the white folks. We got to get over the fear. We got to get over the damn love. We got to get over the idolizing of white folks so we can focus on what we need to do, man, as black people. I don't think that that's hard to do, man. It's not that hard to do. I know it's not. It's not that hard to do, man.
Exactly.
We just got to have the will to do it. That's all.
And, you know, speaking of that case, the same people that took over the federal land, I forget where it was, but, you know, and the FBI, and they was afraid to go after them and kick them off the land. When they finally made it to court, do you know that they were proven not guilty on every charge? Even the charge of carrying weapons on federal property, they were found not guilty. I was like, wow. I mean, and you can look on the media, the news. We saw them walking around on the land with their guns, but they came back not guilty even on that charge. So it's like, wow.
I mean, We can do this stuff too, man, and we can do this stuff on our own land. We don't have to try to protect ourselves on federal land. We can have our own land and protect that.
Exactly.
Okay, we can protect that because it'll be ours. Okay, I know where I live at, man. I'm gonna go down for my house, man, because I got my woman in my house. I got my people in my house. I mean, I'm gonna go down. This is my land, man. I mean, I have to be willing to go down for it, or why am I here?
Exactly.
Why am I here? Okay, if I'm not willing to go down for my people, for my wife, my children, my grandchildren, I mean, why am I here? If I'm not willing to do that, if I'm gonna run and hide, okay, and just leave them exposed to whatever that wants to come up in here, that doesn't make any sense. Even if it's just me and my damn dog, God damn it, you have to go through us two first before you get to anybody else in this damn house. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You got to neutralize us two first. It's gonna be me and my mutt. You have to get rid of us first before you do anything else to anyone else inside this property. That's just the way that's going down. And we can do that on a big scale, man. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. I'm not saying we should walk around and just shoot people in the head haphazardly, but at the same time, we need to be prepared, man, to protect our brothers, man. If nothing else, we got to be able to protect our brothers and sisters and stuff like that. But we got to be able to do that, if nothing else. And they need to know that, hey, just like I tell you what, I bet you they won't run up on that white man out there with that cattle no more, because they know if they run up on him, they're gonna have to deal with all those folks out there with guns. They need to know. They need to know the same thing about us, man. They need to know that if they run up on our folks, this is what's waiting for them.
Exactly. That's right. You know, bro. As I look at your picture in the background, and the last time that I was on, and I was looking at that as well, and looking at Malcolm and Stokely, and you know, just the average everyday person that's showing up at, you know, a rally or whatever. The question comes to mind is, you know, were there sacrifices that they made in vain? You know, because Malcolm loved us, you know, Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, he loved us, you know, loved us immensely. And the sacrifices that they have made, and looking at the pictures of our people, you know, the sacrifices that they've made to come to whatever demonstration that may be. You know, if we don't take that and find motivation, find the right push that we will need to galvanize our people to do things properly, you know, then they're living in the sacrifices that they have made would have been in vain. And there's no way in the world that we can return their good works and their love for us by sitting down on what they taught us.
Yeah.
You know, because I really believe Kwame Ture, I believe the government gave him cancer. Yeah. You know, I really believe that. And he loved us, man. He loved us. I only got to see him speak once, but I know that brother, he loved us. Just to be able to sit back and look at him, you know, he's a beautiful brother. He's a beautiful brother. And I thank you for having his picture up, because no one really talks about him that much.
No. He's always been on 4 people that have always been on the T.P.O.T placards, because they've changed over the years. But these 4 people have always been on there: Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, Frederick Douglass, and Marcus Garvey. Those have always been the 4 brothers. You know, they interchanged from time to time, but those 4 men were always, you know, on our placards. I mean, the other pictures are actually pictures that I actually took at rallies, because I've been to quite a few of them. I mean, believe it or not, I've been to quite a few of them. And I was at many Michael Brown rallies in New York, Eric Garner rallies in New York. I've been to rallies down here. I've been to many. I've covered many. I mean, you go through my stuff, you see I've been to many of them. And I'm not big on the marching, but when you're there and you're in the middle of all those people and they're chanting and people are speaking, I mean, you You feel something when you're in the middle of it. You know, it's one thing to see it on TV and see the waves of people walking down the street, but when you're in the middle of it, you know, when you're right there in the middle of it, I mean, it's something about it, man. You feel somewhat powerful, I guess, because there's so many of us out there. You know, it's like 1,000 of you out there. So it's like, you know, nothing's really going to happen. You know, the cops are off on the wings or whatever. But I mean, you actually can feel the strength of Black folks when you're in the middle of a constructive rally. You can actually feel the collective strength of Black people when you're in the middle of that. And many of those rallies, I was called, you know, people called me and they was like, you know, X, you know, come, you know, do some photography, take some pictures, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, like I said, I mean, you get in the middle of that stuff, man, and you actually can feel that collective strength of Black people. Now, it usually goes away because everybody disperses and everybody goes back home, you know, and they go back to their lives. But in the moment of it, man, that moment, you know, that moment right there, you know that no harm is going to come to any Black people in that group. That's something that you just know, because the police, they don't, I know the rallies I've been to, the police don't come within that. You know, they kind of stay off to the side, you know, because they know they would have to go back, you know, to their barracks and get their tanks and their machine guns and all that other kind of crap to do anything to all those Black folks out there. So, you know, when you're in the midst of that, nothing's going to happen to any Black folks by the hand of any white folks, you know, out there. You actually know that. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not much for the marching, but I mean, you can feel that collective power, man, that collective electricity of Black people, man. When you're in the middle, yeah, you can feel it. You can. And I always think, and I've said this before, I just because I'm not big on the marching, but I get it. I understand why people do it. I just think that often it's misplaced, you know. I mean, if you're going to march and you're going to protest, I just think you need to be protesting over to where the enemy is, as opposed to protesting where the enemy invaded and took someone's life. You need to take it to their house. You need to bring the heat to their neighborhood. You need to bring the heat to their main street. You know, you need to cause them some disruption. Don't disrupt us. Don't disrupt the neighborhood. Don't disrupt the traffic here. Don't disrupt, you know, mom and pop stores and start burning, you know, fires and shit. I mean, don't do that here. Take it over there. Go outside that policeman's house, okay, and march. Walk around his neighborhood. Clog up traffic there. You know, if you're going to do it where it's going to have more of an impact, because I don't believe they give a damn if we do it in our own neighborhood. I just don't think they care. You know?
Exactly.
I don't think they care. I don't. But they'll care if you're bringing it to their house.
Oh,
they'll
yes.
care then. Well,
they sure will.
Yeah, they'll care if you bring it to their house. I mean, that's the only real problem I have with it. You know, I just think it's a little misplaced.
It definitely is. You know, you're 100% correct. And to be able, and I've been saying that for years, that if you're going to march, you need to be marching to their house. You need to be marching at their school, at their church, wherever, you know, at their grocery store. I don't give a damn, wherever they go. That's where you need to be at. And you need to make them afraid. It's just that simple. You make them afraid, you make them uncomfortable, and then their neighbors will begin to get on them. Hey, you know, this shit's getting too close to our house, because it'll make the whole neighborhood afraid, because they're not used to that. They're used to us being where we are and protesting down there. They ain't used to us coming in their space and making it uncomfortable for them in their own space. And that's where we need to do. You know, we're going to do that marching, then that's where it needs to take place, as you were saying. Because doing the same stuff that we did years and years ago and getting the same results, somebody got to understand that shit just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think that, you know, bringing it to them, I mean, would be bringing it to their attention. And I think that it would have a bigger impact. I don't think marching in our own neighborhoods has that much of an impact. You know, the news is out there and everything else, but you know, eventually, you know, everyone just kind of disappears and they go on, and our neighborhood is left with trash and bottles and garbage and broken windows and all that kind of stuff. I think it would be a different result if that was happening on the other side of town.
Exactly.
I think that people would look up, take notice if it was happening on that side of town. I think people would be more interested in what's going on if, like I said, you clogging up traffic on their main street, if you're marching around their schools, if you're marching in their downtown, if you're marching through their neighborhoods, they are going to take notice. Okay, the police department is going to take notice. The mayor's office is going to take notice. The mayors are going to take notice. I mean, and the news corporations will definitely be there for that one. Okay, you look up and you see 2,000 black folks marching down through Whiteville. Yes. Boy, that's going to be news. That's going to be news. You get 2,000 Negroes marching down through Whiteville. Shit, that's news. That's news, boy.
Exactly.
See them white folks standing on their porches looking, boy, they be like, what the hell? All these Negroes, where they coming from?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
That's part of it, man. I'm telling you, it will work. Black folks, listen to me. It will work. So no more marching in our neighborhood. Nope.
That's right.
Don't do it anymore. It's pointless. Don't do it anymore. It doesn't work. We've tried that for decades. It's not working. It's time to change the tactic, my people. It's time to change it. Trust me. You'll be glad you listened to OX and Brother Muhammad. You will be glad you did. You're going to see some results, man. You're going to see them. You're going to see them quick, too.
That's right. You know that, and it's time for us to embrace that real revolutionary thought process and to be able to go ahead and implement these type of things, because sooner we implement these type of things, it'll change the reality in which we live so quickly. Quickly. You know, it's just like this was Kamala Harris, you know, trying to use the quote unquote black vote to ride into the Democratic nomination. But you know, that she's another cop. You know, that ain't gonna work. And then I understand she's married to a cracker. You know, that I think we've learned the lessons of Barack Obama. I believe that we've learned from that. She's not going to go anywhere, and she's trying, but I don't think she's going to be successful at all.
Yeah, plus I don't like the fact that, you know, she's like many others, you know, to try to claim us when it's convenient. You know, always want to claim black folks when it's convenient. You know, and it was on her watch where a lot of brothers went to jail. I think people really need to go ahead and study Miss Kamala Harris, because a lot of people went to jail under her watch due to corrupt prosecutors, corrupt lab technicians. She had one of her prosecutors where the judge ordered her to take on the case because the prosecutors under her in the county had admitted false testimonies, false evidence, and she refused. Okay, she refused to take on the case that these prosecutors had made all these false claims and perjured themselves and put false evidence into a trial. She refused to take the case, and what she did in kind is defended these dirty prosecutors who had jailed these people. She defended them, okay, even though she knew they had admitted false testimony, false evidence, and all this corruptness. She defended them instead. So these cases, many of these cases got dismissed due to corrupt prosecutors, corrupt technicians, right? And judges, superior court judges, threw them out because of these inconsistencies and these bad people working under her watch. She actually appealed to get these bad cases back on the damn docket, even after she knew the lab technicians were corrupt. She knew the prosecutors were corrupt, and she actually appealed these thrown out indictments by these judges, even though she knew the evidence and stuff is bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I mean, people really need to look Kamala Harris up, man, especially brothers. Because let me tell you something, brothers. She threw a lot of our brothers in jail on some old BS. And then when the brothers got their cases thrown out, she actually appealed to get your black behind back in jail, even though she knew y'all had been jailed on false testimony and false evidence. So if you vote for her, you crazy. That's all I got to say. You're crazy.
What? Wow.
Crazy.
I didn't. Wow.
Yeah, look her up, Brother Muhammad. Look her up. Look her up. Look her up. Yeah, she's got some issues. And like I said, I mean, now all of a sudden she wants to claim black all of a sudden, something she's never done before, you know, but a lot of people do that. They want to freaking claim us when it's convenient. You know, now she's all for black and brown people. That's the first time I ever heard her say black and brown people ever since I've been freaking seeing her ass on any news program. She's never mentioned black or brown people. But now she's all for the black and brown people now, though. Why? Because she wants your damn vote. And you're a fool if you give it to her.
Exactly. Good Lord. But she is still having issues trying to come in. Is there a number she can call and do it over the phone?
Yeah, I can. It'll take me a few minutes, but I can set up my phone lines. I can do that. It'll take me a few minutes, but I can do it.
Okay.
I can do it. I got phone lines. We'll do that. No, we don't want to make it too difficult for her if she's having some hard time. Let me just give me a few minutes to get them up.
Okay. Perfect.
I was actually going to do that. I don't know why I just didn't do it. I don't know. But I can make that happen.
Excellent. That'd be great. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know she was that corrupt. Good Lord. But
yeah, look her. I tell everybody, look her up, man. Look her up. She's dirty. And the people that worked for her. And I saw her a couple nights ago, and you know, she was on a news program and they were asking her about it, you know, and of course she dodged it and said, you know, it didn't have anything to do with her, and you know, it was someone else's job to watch it, but she was the person. Okay, she was at the top. She was like the attorney general or something. So, you know, she was at the top of the food chain, and she knew this stuff was going on, and she let it go on. And when judges threw the stuff out, she appealed to bring that bad shit back in. So, I mean,
wow.
Yeah. I'll say, look her up, everybody. Look her up. Don't get all glossy eyed because y'all think y'all see old light skinned black woman up there. Ready to represent y'all interests. Trust me, nothing could be further from the truth, y'all. I'm trying to tell you right now. You know, I was just talking to my wife about it today. Because you know, my wife, she knew all this stuff, you know, because she's married to me. But you know, she knew all this stuff, and you know, we were talking about it. I said, you see her, man, she's up there, you know, she's up there trying to freaking claim us now, you know, and you know, everybody wants to claim black folks when it's convenient.
Exactly.
Yeah, when it's convenient. They want to all freaking claim us now. You know, don't let them do it, man. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. You claim us before.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You didn't claim us before. Now you want to claim us all of a sudden? Now we your people?
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden we your folks? Was it your folks who you was throwing our ass in jail with some old nonsense evidence?
Exactly.
Turn around. Now you want us to support you. It's crazy. And what's really sad, Brother Muhammad, is some of us are gonna do it. I mean, some of us are just gonna we're going to do it. Some of us are gonna go right along with that BS. We're going to. We are. I hate to say it, man, but that's what it is. Some of us are gonna be fooled by that BS.
Exactly. Yeah. Man.
You know, it's the old light-skinned black woman up there, you know. They start getting all glossy-eyed, you know, having remnants of Barack Obama and whatnot, you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Don't fall for it, folks. Please don't. At least do a little bit of. I tell y'all what. Don't take my word for it. Just go ahead and Google Kamala Harris. Look up her Wikipedia. Look up Attorney General in San Francisco between the years of 2010 and 2016. She was there 2012, 2016. Look that up and you just read it for yourself. And if I'm lying, just send me an email and I'll retract my statement. That's all. That's all. Look it up for yourself, folks. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Look it up for yourselves.
Exactly.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
All right. All right.
There we go.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Queen.
Can you hear us, Lady Melissa?
I can hear you.
Okay.
All
I
right.
was just about to set up my phone lines. I was almost there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and run them anyway, just in case. I'm gonna go ahead and hook them up anyway, just in case. Given the circumstances, how are you, madam?
It's rough. And I thought that. No, I didn't. It's rough. It's rough, and I guess at first I was, like in shock somewhat, So, but it's the way it's like kicking in now, so it's more like, I just feel pain. And it's hard. I can't even describe it, but I feel pain,
Well, I'm glad that you could join us tonight. And I was just explaining to Brother Muhammad a little earlier in the hour that I appreciate, you being willing to come on here and speak to my audience. So, I want to thank you for that.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. You're welcome here anytime, madam. Anytime.
Just I don't care how tired, I get. I have a job to do, and that's be a mother. So that's what I'm trying to continue to do is not only be Danye's mom, but my other two, So I'm trying to remain, I guess, strong for them and fight. Yeah, it's something that I don't have a choice but to do it.
Well, we want you to know here at T.P.O.T that we are here for you. We don't pretend to understand what you're going through, but we do understand that you need people to have your back, and we are some of those people. You can always get in contact with us. You can always contact us. I'm easy to reach, and if you can't reach me directly, you can always go through Brother Muhammad. I mean, whenever you want to come on and talk, it doesn't matter, what day of the week it is, or it doesn't matter. We'll set it up, and whatever you want to get up here and say, you can get up here and say. You can come up here and just stare at the screen if you want to, if that'll help you. We got your back here at T.P.O.T because this is kind of what we do. So, I just want you to know that as well.
Thank you.
Definitely.
There's work to be done for our people, and we can't stand down. We can't, be afraid and go into hiding because they feel that they have some type of victory, you know, and they have some type of pull. Um, like the young ones say, we got to take this L, this loss. Um, it's easier said than done, when people tell me just be strong and keep fighting. It's there's times when it's a fight, it's a struggle to even get out of the bed because now I know that Danye isn't coming home. He won't be walking through the door. He won't be calling my phone, sending a text just to let me know that he loves me, or even if he just want to vent, or none of that. There's no more. If I'm having a rough day, um, calling him or texting him just to hear him say, I love you, Mom, no matter where he is, I can't get that back.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get that back because of these ignorant, hateful devils,
Mm-hmm.
And it's a struggle. Like, I can't even pretend to be strong anymore because it's a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I'm not. I'm not strong right now. I'm not. I'm tired of trying to pretend to be. He was part of me. He came from me. So I'm gonna be weak sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be weak sometimes. Now I feel like you know I have to lean on somebody because my baby is gone. Um, so but I'm gonna continue to fight though. You know that L that they think they gave us is gonna be a V. We're gonna have victory. So um, but we have to do this together. That's what I ask. But either way it goes, I I can do this. You know, even if it's alone, because he came here with me and him. It was Danye and I. So um, that's how I'm gonna fight. And the more, the better.
Mm-hmm.
More people, the better. But I'm gonna do it. Um, weak times, strong times. I'm gonna continue to do it. That's what I wake up to do.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
Yes.
what I want to ask you, if you're willing to answer this, how far as Danye's brother Danye's case is going? Where are we now? Where are we now in this case, in this investigation?
Um, right now uh, we're in the midst of live. Um, they put out this bogus um, statement and report, and um, just full of lies. They couldn't even um, get his height right, near right. So, I mean, I can go through the report and tell you what they said, and tell you what really happened, because it was a report full of lies. And as a matter of fact, I don't even know their descriptions and everything that happened. I don't even know if we even talking about the same case and the same person. That's how much they done jacked this whole report up. You know, they told us that we were waiting on the autopsy. That's what the almost 12 weeks were, and that's what we were waiting on. And autopsy wasn't even performed. So, but yeah, we can go through the report, and I can tell you what they said, and what the facts are in our story. You know, that's what we wanted to get out, you know, today.
Well, feel free to share whatever. Feel free to share whatever you want to share, and feel free to withhold whatever you want to withhold. I mean, tonight is your night on TPOT, so whatever you want to do and share is fine. Whatever you don't want to do and share is fine.
Okay, yeah, we spoke with our PR, and because we got the 911 report, well, the 911 call back, and initially wanted to share that, but I just got a email from our PR saying that they wanted to hold out on that. Um, and as the 911 call is uh, it actually, um, when I listened to it, it it put me back there again, you know, and to actually hear um, my call and the call from that my brother and husband made, uh, even when I was in the house talking on the phone to the 911 operator, I felt like I was back out there with my brother and my husband at the time, because you can hear everything. And so the things that they added to the report and took out of the report, if you once the 911 call is put out, it'll show us even further that more than how much they lied, you know. Um, but um, let's see. So I don't know if you wanted me to read the narrative report, or read the lies, or their story and then our story. Um, I'm open for whatever. It's up to you all.
Whatever you want to share with us. I mean, it's up to you. Whatever you want to say, we want to hear it.
Brother Maurice, my brother.
Um,
I'm so sorry. I apologize. How are you and my sister?
oh, we're doing fine, Queen. We trust me. We understand. We got your back. We know it's difficult. We know it's difficult. You know, wherever you want to start, that's fine. You know, we got you 110%.
Okay. So I have my
Absolutely.
sister here. She's been by my side, you know, since, well, all of her life, but for this situation, she's been by my side, you know, since it happened. Like, um, my family, they've been here for the parts that, you know, the world doesn't see, you know, waking up in the middle of the night, um, and the screams, um, I actually, one moment can be looking at TV, and the next moment I'm screaming and fighting, just punching, and screaming his name, Um, act- and they've been here to hold me and try to calm me back down. So it, these devils, they mess me up with this, you know. Like if I was given, um, if God asked me today, Melissa, um, what do you want, or what would you give up? I would I would be on the streets. I would sleep on the streets. I would take the worst punishment ever, um, if I can get my son back. You know, because this pain, I wouldn't wish on anyone. I wouldn't. But it's the worst. Um, you know, I can't even explain it. But we have the narrative report, and if you don't mind, I have my brother and my sister here just to help me out on it a little bit.
Oh, that's
Uh,
fine. I mean, take all time you
and I'm
need. I
here
mean,
to answer any questions or whatever, but
okay.
I just know the
Yeah,
more,
take.
you know.
Yeah, I mean,
It's only been 3 months,
yes, yes. So, I mean, you don't have to apologize to us for being emotional. You don't have to do any of that. I'll say again, whatever you want to share with us, we want to hear it, and we would understand if you have things that you don't want to share with us. If you want to bring others on to kind of help you along and help it out, that's fine too. I mean, this is TPOT. I'm the boss. We got all night. We got all night with Lady Melissa. So, I mean, take your time, bring other people in, read what you want to read, play whatever you want to play. Tonight's your night. You know, you look up there, it says demanding justice for Danye. So that's what we're doing tonight. So it's on you. It's your call. As long as you want to be here, you here.
Thank you, and I thank everyone who's tuned in. And if you've heard the story 4, 5, 6 times, I thank you for listening again, because every day is it's a new um, battle. You know, it's a new battle every day to wake up and your baby, and to realize that your baby is not um, physically here, in the flesh. Um, so, um, Toya, mm, 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 okay, I'm ready. Okay, but I have it on everything that's highlighted. Where but carrying the backpack, and hello. Am I loud enough? Am I loud
Yeah.
enough?
Yeah, you good. You good. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you all?
Good.
Good, good.
I'm Latoya. I'm Melissa's one of her younger sisters, the auntie of Danye. I'm gonna start with them saying that he walked in the backyard with a book bag. That's not true. He had a backpack, but he left that on the back porch. Melissa never seen him go to the backyard. Nobody ever seen him go to the backyard at all. All they saw him do was leave out the house with the backpack. The backpack was found later on that day on the back porch. The last time I saw Danye was downstairs. Downstairs writing notes about his real estate. My brother Danny was the last one to see him walk out, but he didn't walk in the backyard.
Melissa was waking up for the day and beginning her routine. That's not true. She definitely woke up from a nightmare, and went downstairs or was in the kitchen. Then her husband came home. He went downstairs because she was trying to get Danye to turn the TV. I mean, not TV, but the lights off. So once she figured out Danye wasn't down there, that's when she went outside.
So that night, I had woke up from a nightmare, and it was a nightmare like I've never had, you know. So I woke up. The nightmare went like, there was a brown panther, a big brown panther, and he had been pulling at my hand. So when I woke up, my hand and arm was hurting like it was real. So that's when I called my husband and I told him. I said I'm nervous. I said I'm shaking. He said, "What's going on?" I said, "I just had a nightmare and it felt real because my hand and arms and stuff is still hurting." So I told him about it, you know. So um yeah, that's why I was up. That's why I got up, because I had a nightmare. And it was, you know it was real. It felt real. And sometimes I wonder if that was me and holding my son's hand when he was leaving. But
Okay, so to be honest, this report it has a lot of lies in it, and reading it is kind of confusing me with the whole story. So I'm just going to tell you what I know to be true and what they said from what I heard from for myself. They lied about his height. They lied about who took the picture. The lie is they said that Derek took the picture. Derek did not take the picture. Our brother took the picture because the whole thing looked suspect from the beginning. Um, they said that Derek took the picture because his pants was rolled down to his ankles. It was more than that. Danye had a knot on the side of his face. His hands were clenched up like he was fighting. He had marks on his wrist. So when they said that they did a autopsy or investigation, they did nothing. That's just some of the first part of the lies. The next part was, yeah, he stood 5'7". Danye was at least 6'1", 6'2". He was nowhere near 5'7". Saying he was 150 pounds. No, he wasn't. Um,
his hair was not
his hair was
short.
short. His hair was short.
He said his hair was medium length, and he had short cut.
The family members that they are saying that they talk to, we have no idea who these family members are, and we would love to know who they are. Saying that he was depressed. He was not depressed. He actually was very happy. He had just started his real estate business. That was going good for him. He had no reason to be depressed. He was very excited. It was just that whole situation with the family members. All that is lies. Like, we don't know where it came from, who it is. They stated all of our business. They stated our names, the address, all of that, but they have yet to tell us who these family members are that they're talking to. But they're letting out like press reports on this information. They haven't talked to any of the family members that know Danye. But they're doing press reports, putting out false information from people we don't even know like that.
So can I ask you ladies this? What do they have written as his official cause of death? What is the cause of his death?
Was suicide, which we already knew that they were going to do that because when we talked to him on the phone to ask about the sheet, because we got his clothes back. So when we called and asked about the sheet, the detective that was the first at the scene that was laughing in the backyard while Danye was still on the ground, what he said was, we're probably going to classify it as a suicide. We asked him about the sheet. He said that the medical examiner had the sheet. The medical examiner came back and said that a detective came on October 30th to pick up the sheet. And we talked to him November 3rd, and he told us that he didn't have the sheet at all.
So wait, they were already saying it was a suicide as soon as they saw him. With no autopsy, no coroner, no nothing. They just said, okay, this is a suicide. Right. Just like that.
And the reason that they gave that, they said, is because there was no, they don't see any sign of a struggle. There wasn't a sign of a struggle, but his pants was rolled down to his knees. He had a knot on his face. He had indentations on his wrist. But there was no sign of struggle. They didn't even take his phone. They didn't even check his phone. They left his phone here. They didn't dust the chair for prints. They left all that here. But they made sure they took their sheet. They took the sheet because they said that, and they said they wanted to destroy the sheet because they said of health risk.
This is after he said we would get it back.
Right. This is after they said that we was going to get the sheet back. But once they found out that we knew that it wasn't a suicide, they said they're going to destroy the sheet. Now, probably like 3 or 4 days after, 3 days after he was murdered, they gave us his clothing back, even though it had blood splatter and other bodily fluids on it. But that wasn't considered a health risk. So the same stuff that was on that sheet was the same stuff that should have been on his clothing. But they gave us that back. And we still don't have the sheet back. The attorneys, no one, the officers still have that sheet. The sheet that they said was in a figure 8 formation. Now, okay, that was a figure 8 formation. Now, if anybody was in the military or anything, they could look at that sheet and tell that those were Navy knots. So, I'm pretty sure they know the difference from a simple 8 to Navy knot. But we don't have that sheet yet.
Did they make any indication? Did they make any indications on the autopsy report about the bruising on his wrist, the bruising on his face? Is any of that mentioned in the autopsy report at all?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There's no autopsy. There was no autopsy done.
No autopsy.
No autopsy done. It's on the report. No autopsy at all was done. Only thing they did was a toxicology report. That's it. And it took 11 or 12 weeks for that. So the sheet didn't come from our home. We don't know where the sheet came from at all. But yet, that same day that it happened, and they said that it was going to be a suicide. This is what they asked my only son left, my baby. This is what they asked him when they caught him coming out of Pizza Hut. 5 officers approached him and asked him, my baby, what did they ask you, babe?
Who's the child care holder of your son? My son wasn't with me. I told him nothing about I had a child.
What was the main thing they asked you though?
Did we find who did what they did to my brother? They found him hung.
So they're asking you, did you find out who did it, as if they know that someone did it, not that he did it to himself, but someone did it, right?
This is after they told us that it was suicide, that's what they saw. But they gonna catch my son. They gonna catch him and outside of Pizza Hut. 5 of them surrounding him. and asking him, did we find out who did that to Danye?
Wow. Let me ask you something, young fellow. What's your name, young fellow?
They,
Oh, he done left, boy.
My name's Javon.
Let me ask you something. I'm X from T.P.O.T Media, man. Let me ask you if you feel like talking about it. What do you think happened to your brother? What do you think happened to him?
I know it wasn't him. I know my brother wouldn't do anything like that to himself. My brother, he was a strong believer in making do what you had work and progress, not the easy way out. Somebody hung him.
Who do you think it was? Do you?
we can't answer that one right now. You know, not to put that out there. You know,
Okay.
just to know that we have a strong.
Do you have suspicions of who it was? Let me ask you
Yes,
that. Do you have suspicions of who it was?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Like I will answer anything, but as far as okay, but as far as my baby, you know, they can come for me. They can come for me, but
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have your own investigator investigating these people who you suspect? Do you have an investigator investigating these people, or checking these people out?
okay, so that's the issue. All this stuff comes from a whole legal team. You know, not just one attorney. We have to have a legal team, and our own autopsy done. And I know you know everything that comes with our own investigation. So yes, we have a GoFundMe that you know some people they feel some type of way about. Same people that have GoFundMe's for things that are so much less important, you know. But that's what it's going to take. It's going to take money. So yes, we started a supporter started a GoFundMe for the family, and it's called in memory of Danye Jones. So we have a GoFundMe and also the Cash App.
Yeah, my people have been putting it. They're putting it in the chat room, so they're running it in the chat room, so people will be able to see it. Hit the link. Go ahead, donate to Lady Melissa. She's trying to find out what happened to Brother Danye. His death was suspect. We already know that. We don't even have to think about that anymore. And like you heard her say, it costs money for her legal team and investigators, so on and so forth. So go ahead, donate it, whatever you can. I don't think anything is too much and nothing is too little. So if you can donate something, go ahead and donate, because y'all know that's what we do here at T.P.O.T. We look out for our folks. So go ahead, hit that link and go ahead and donate a few dollars to Lady Melissa so she can get some answers in what's going down with Brother Danye. You hear me, folks? Okay, go ahead, Lady Melissa. I just want to get him a little bit of instruction.
We're going to have to move. You know, I'm trying to stay so that our investigators that we have, and the attorneys, whoever that's on our side, if they need to get here, you know, that they can have access to this house. But it's hard. It's hard as hell waking up in this house, going to bed in this house, having to look out the window like every few minutes. People still sitting outside of our home, our power being turned off again, and yes, the bill is paid. You know, the same things that happened before Danye was murdered. They started it again. You know, but now we're ready. I feel like we're ready, but we still need protection. We still need, like we need protection. Like I've said this over and over again. We need protection until we get out of this hellhole. Because this is not a home anymore. This is not a home anymore. This is somewhere that I don't even sleep. I can't even sleep. I'm just ready for somebody to come up in here again though. If you come here, you better be prepared for it. Because I'm gonna die for mine. I will die for mine. Even if this fight take me to my grave.
Well, eventually you said you guys have to move. You have to move from there, right? Because of the situation at hand. But you still have to, you want them to be able to have access to the house so they can come in and investigate, right? So you can't move right now, right? Are you going to move after the investigation is over, or I mean, what's the plan?
I'll stay as long as I can. I mean, right now, as far as financially, like you said, is rough. It was rough before, and to just pick up and leave. So we just don't have it like that. Um, but um, when it's time to go, I'm ready to get up out of here. I can't do anything different to this place to make it feel like home. I can put bolt locks on everything, be strapped with the biggest gun, but I don't feel safe here. And we've went to people for help. We've went to organizations for help, and still haven't gotten any assistance. So you got women walking around the house with guns because we have to protect us.
So up until the investigation is over, and I guess when you talk about investigation, you're talking about your own investigator, right? Not the police.
Yes.
Okay. So up until the investigation is over, in the meantime, you guys still, you need protection over there, obviously, because they're still trying to do whatever over there. And I mean, this is what puzzles me, and not to go too much off track, but you are an activist yourself. You have marched for others' rights. You have marched due to someone else's death. And it would seem to me that it would be very easy for people to come to your aid, being who you are. I mean, you're not an unknown. Far from it. You are Googleable. I can Google your name and you come up as who you are. Before, I could have Googled your name last year and your name comes up as someone. So that's what puzzles me in all of this, being that who you are, that you don't have more people at your aid at this time. That puzzles the hell out of X. Um, let me ask you this, Lady Melissa. Have you heard from, I mean, anyone? I mean, have you heard from any of these people who you marched by their side, who you demonstrated with and carried signs with? And I mean, have you heard from any of these people? Any of them?
Okay. So besides the whole marching rah rah, all that mess, um, I was facing 17 years fighting this fight because they came from me and my organization. So I was going to court, and yeah, I was looking at 17 years. This is right before, and I beat the case right before Danye was killed. You know, for people's sons and brothers and husbands or whatever. You know, traveling with lupus, systemic lupus. You know, having flare ups, still getting out of bed. Never asked for a dime. Never asked for anything. And no, they have not came and asked me if they can do anything or any nothing. So why you surprised? I'm even more surprised. But at first, um, you know, I was hurt by it. I'm not hurt anymore, you know, because like I said, when Danye came in this world with his mama, and that's who's gonna fight for him to the end. You know, his family, true people. So I can't expect anything else, and I'm not gonna beg anybody else for anything else. I'm not begging anybody for nothing. I'm done. I'm done. If it don't feel right to you, then so be it. But you put yourself in our shoes. And if it was your child or your brother, your family member, because it has been for some. And what would you ask for? What would you expect from your people? And how would you feel if it didn't come? But I'm not done. We're not gonna just I'm not gonna throw in the towel on it. No. No. You know, it is what it is. I just pray that it's never y'all whoever. I pray that it's never one of yours. Because this hurts. I don't know if there's a word beyond that, but this hurts. So if I can fight these feelings that I'm feeling about losing Danye, then I'm all right with not having my people stand with me. The fight is bigger than that. I'm just trying to make it day by day and not having my son here. And just think about that. Try to put yourself in them shoes. But I still got love for you. I still got love for all y'all. Honestly.
Well, you don't have to answer this specifically if you don't want to, but what I mean, do you have any thoughts on why they did this to brother Danye? Do you have any thoughts on why they did it?
Yeah. One I know was from some of the threats, you know, like they said that they hoped that somebody shoved the bullhorn down my nigger throat. And for two, they hated to see a black man trying to do good. They can't stand it because he's a threat. He was a huge threat. Not only did he have a mind of his own and he was not a follower, he was a warrior. You couldn't scare him. My baby was ready to go with a brick by his bed. He was ready to fight and protect his family with a brick. So he was one of the biggest threats. They can't take it. They can't stand us. And if you think that just because you have a little coin in your little pocketbook or you got a little money and you made it, please, please wake up. Please. Because they'll get your nigga ass too. They'll come for your nigga ass too. Don't think you made it. Don't ever think you made it. You the one they want. They don't care about our brothers and sisters that, in the corner slanging or whatever. They don't too much care because they know that they already doing what they want them to do already. They good. They doing what Master wants them to do. But when we have one of these, when you have a mind of your own and you trying to do right by your people, they're mad. They big mad. And they gonna try to stop you. They gonna try to get you by any means necessary. They gonna try to get you. So that's why you better get yourself together and be ready. Should no woman be out here fighting harder than a brother?
That's right.
I agree.
You should feel ashamed of yourself. I ain't fighting at all. You look like a fool. You a damn fool. When you got your sisters out here ready, going hard for our babies, for our husbands, for our men, period. But you can't stand up and fight for your sisters. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
That's right.
Well, if you don't mind, because we haven't heard much of this at all, and I'll understand if you don't, but I want to ask anyway because that's what I do. Won't you tell us a little bit about Danye? Tell us about him. Tell us about who he was, what kind of brother he was. If you feel up to it. If you don't feel up to it, that's fine too. But I think the people would want to know something about the young brother. If you're feeling up to talking about him a little bit.
Like every time someone asks me, I do an interview or whatever, and that's one of the hardest questions for me to answer because it's not about it's not about the pain of it's not just about the pain of losing him, it's the pain of who he was, who he is, who we lost. That's the hardest part because Danye was special, and I can say it over and over again because I mean that he was special. Coming to this world, he was special. Being born almost 3 months early with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck and fought and made it. Struggle after struggle. Oh God.
I mean, we can end this, Lady Melissa, if you want to. I mean, you don't feel like going on. I mean, we can end it if you want.
Oh, that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. Is talking about who he was.
Oh, oh God. Oh, yeah, he was a fighter, and not fighting his people, fight for his people. You know, uh, he loved hard. Very protective. Oh yes, like she said, love hard, love hard. Um, like we said before, he at 24. As a matter of fact, it's being a young boy, opening the doors for the women, and once he learned how to cook, which because he can cook, he loved to cook for uh, his loved ones, And like I've said before, I could tell the story over and over again because I'm so proud. I'm so proud of Danye. Uh, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. That's how he answers you. I don't care how old you are. Very respectful. Like I said, very protective over his loved ones. Uh, and very ambitious. Since a child, very ambitious because he was told that he would not be able to walk correct. He would not be able to think correctly or speak proper or correctly because he was born with mild cerebral palsy. Um, he was very ambitious. Couldn't tell him what he couldn't do because he was going to prove that he could. And he did. He proved a lot. He made us proud. And I said that right before he left that I was proud of him. And I'm still proud of my baby. I'm proud of Danye Jones. I know he went out fighting, but at least he didn't. At least he did fight, you know? When it was time to knuckle up, he's going to knuckle up. And he's going to fight for his family. And that was still fighting, you know? He's still fighting for us. So that's why we're going to fight for Danye, you know? So who Danye is, he's that man. He's that king. Yeah. And he wore that crown like no other. He's always said, Mom, I love my black queen. And he'll give you that little side smile. And he did. He loved his black sisters. He loved them. He called them queens, you know. So Danye is somebody to be proud of. So my sister can tell you more, She was very close to him also. So, but as his mom, yeah, he was that king. So,
Well, whatever she wants to share, we want to hear it if she's feeling up to it.
we all agree when it comes to Danye. Danye was an old soul. I can remember coming into town because I was living in Chicago, and every time I would come into town, like I asked him, like, Danye, let me help you get my bags, and every time he get mad, like, no, Auntie, I got your bags, I got them. I'm like, well, at least let me help you. He like, no, 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 ma'am, no, ma'am. He always had an old soul, and Javon is the same way. The other son, my other nephew, he's the same way. You know, they wouldn't let me walk near the street. They always had to walk on the side, you know, closer to the street. They open up car doors. They're not just opening up doors at the grocery store. They open up car doors. You have grown men that don't even do that now. But here you have a teenager, a young boy, a young man that still was opening up doors for women, young ladies. Danye was strong. And even though they told him he wouldn't be able to walk, he used to walk on his tippy toes. And he'd get through the house. Never had a problem.
Yeah, because he had to have help for a Lincoln.
Yep. And that still didn't stop him. Nothing ever stopped Danye. Nothing. Nothing that they threw at him stopped him.
He started off walking and had to wear braces and we had to push him in wheelchairs. Like, he was adamant about that, knowing that he can get disability when he was older. He said he don't want no disability. You know, he said, I don't want no disability.
He didn't want sympathy from nobody.
No, he said, I can do this myself. So he started his own business. He started his own business. He ain't taking no free money. That's what he said. Because they done told him too many times of who they thought he was. And he proved to all of us that's not that wasn't Danye. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't judge you if you on disability, but Danye, that's just who he was. He didn't want to lean on anybody.
He was a man.
That's who Danye is.
He found his manhood and he stood on it. He definitely stood on it.
Well, I know that this is extremely difficult for the family. It has to be. If things progress, and because I believe you'll eventually get to the truth. That's what I believe. You know, it always happens. The truth is going to reveal itself sooner or later. That's just the way it goes. So once the truth is revealed about Brother Danye, what is the next step after that?
Okay. All right. So we was told by someone she's a special sister. You know, she's not from the States. That justice, she don't see justice coming in the courtroom. And we're fine with that because we don't believe in justice in the courtroom. Not for us. But she said there will be justice. Whatever that looks like. There will be justice. And we prepare for it. Those, we call them devils, because that's what they are. They will pay. And to those couple of what we call our people, black folks, that help them carry out this dirty deed, they will pay. They're paying now. Because that was some coward mess. And they lured my baby out of this house. They will pay. They'll pay. They might as well turn on each other. They might as well turn on each other. And I bet if I put out a reward right now, they will turn on each other. Because that's the type of low down people they are. Yeah.
Well, the truth always reveals itself. in one way or another. The truth always reveals itself. That's why I said what I said, because I do believe that you and the rest of your family will eventually, the truth will surface. I mean, one thing about the truth, the harder you try to hide it, the harder it fights to get away, the harder it fights to make itself known. So, I mean, the harder they try to hide the truth, the harder the truth is going to try to, get itself out and see some sunlight. And sunlight purifies everything. So once some light gets shown on some of these things, I do believe that you will get some answers. Brother Muhammad mentioned earlier that you might have had a 911 tape
Yeah.
that you wanted possibly wanted to play. Are you still interested in doing that, or?
So that's what I was saying about it earlier. We was told to hold off on the 911 tape, but we I will say this: it proved a lot. It proved a lot in the lies that they told in the report. It proved a whole lot. That detective Andrews, um, he's someone that we really need to keep an eye on. That detective Andrews, oh, I shouldn't have said.
He was one of the ones. He was the officer, the detective that was first on the scene over here. He had a he had a fresh black eye. Not only that, he was laughing in the backyard while Danye was laying on the ground.
And the front.
In the front. There was a, not saying that this was him, not saying that, but there was a white gentleman that came to Danye's funeral. And okay, to rewinding, that same detective gave us an airport police card. It wasn't even his card. Wrong
That's
information.
not even his jurisdiction.
Wrong card altogether. At Danye's funeral, there was a white man that was standing in the back in the corner. Didn't speak to anybody. Nobody knew who he was. Well, at the time, everybody was still trying to figure out who he was. He walked down. I was sitting two pews basically in front of Danye. So there was an aisle on the left and an aisle on the right. This man walked down the aisle on the left, went to a Remember Christ table with the Bible, acted like he was reading, did his hands just like this, didn't speak to any of the family, didn't go view Danye's body, didn't even look in Danye's direction. He did this to the Bible, turned around the opposite way, and walked right out the church. Right out the church. We don't know who this man was. The only white man at the funeral. Didn't speak to the mother, didn't speak to the father, didn't speak to the siblings, the aunties, the uncles, the grandparents, didn't speak to nobody, friends. Nobody knows who this man was. Nobody.
But again, the main part was this detective that was doing all this suspicious mess. He's one of the detectives or officers that were under investigation just last year while we were out during the Jason Stockley case, bragging about what they're going to do to us and everything. Just look it up. He's one of the four, and he just happened to be the first detective on the scene and giving us the wrong business card and laughing, looking at us laughing the whole time.
Said that he didn't have the sheet.
Yeah.
That was after October 30th. He said he didn't have the sheet, that the medical examiner had the sheet. The medical examiner said that a detective came down October 30th and got the sheet. We talked to this detective after that, and he said that he didn't have the sheet and that we would get the sheet back after they did a full investigation. But they never talked to anybody. They never talked to the family. They never talked to his close friends. They never talked to anybody. So how did you do an investigation and you never talked to anybody? You never dusted for fingerprints. You never did anything. Never came back. The next time they came back, it was the same story. Like they was trying to coach us into believing that it was suicide. And we're like telling them, no, it's not suicide. We need you all to do a full investigation, and they still didn't. But had us waiting 12 weeks for what?
And on that 911 call, they kept telling us to cut him down. After I'd already told him my baby's dead. He's dead. He's hanging in from a tree and he's dead. They told on the call with my husband and my brother, they said, can you cut them down? So my brother and them was saying, my brother said, I need to take a picture. You can hear it clearly on it. He says, this looks like a setup. Something don't look right. Look at this. This looks like a setup. They said, cut him down, sir. Cut him down. This is a crime scene. Mm-hmm. But they said, cut him down.
Well, let me get some of this stuff straight, because I want to kind of roll back and unpack some of this stuff. They claim this is an investigation, but they haven't talked to you, the police. They haven't talked to any of the family, the friends, his brother, his nothing, right? They haven't done any of that, right? I just heard your sister say no fingerprints were dusted for. They didn't take no swab. They didn't swab the chair. They didn't take pictures of footprints around the yard. None of that, right?
No. Well, they took pictures. They did take pictures. They took pictures. Yes, they did.
Of what?
I don't know what they took pictures of, because I was trying to look out the back window from inside of my house, and they had two officers standing around me telling me that I could not look out the window. That was their main objective, was to make sure I didn't look out the window. Why? Like, these are questions I'm asking, for real. But we know why, yeah. But why I can't look at what y'all doing to my baby?
Wow.
Why give us his clothes back and not the sheet? They told us the reason that they're not giving us the sheet back is because it's contaminated. But the clothes that he was wearing aren't contaminated, because we got those back a few days later. So we still haven't gotten that sheet back that didn't come to the house that they said was gray, but it wasn't gray. It was white.
Yeah, because they know there's some DNA or something on it. I mean, they know that there's something on that. So
you wouldn't be surprised if we don't get the same sheet back.
Well, I wouldn't be either. I wouldn't be either.
Why it's taking so long.
So you said that they didn't give you an autopsy report. So what are they calling the document that they gave you? I mean, what are they calling it? What is it titled as what?
Let me show you. This is what we got back. I don't know if you can see that.
Okay, so it's just a county report from the government.
We got that, and the postmortem examination and the toxicology.
Okay.
So, since when do it take almost 12 weeks to do that? No autopsy. Let me show you. It even says it. No autopsy. Let me see where it's at. Hey. It says, see, can you see where it says autopsy performed and it says no?
Yes, I can see that clearly. Wow.
Almost 12 weeks.
So they didn't feel the need to well, you said that the night of, they had already said, okay, it's a suicide. So they already had that in their heads that this is what they were going to call it, obviously.
Yes.
So basically the 12 weeks just they needed 12 weeks to get all their stories together.
There you go.
Pretty much.
And the only reason we got that back is because we had people call in. to the medical examiner's office. We had them blowing up their phones, and that's why we got that back the next day. The very next morning. But they told us that day, they told everybody that was calling, they told me, they said that what's taking so long is that they were waiting on the toxicology report. So if that's the case, then if they were waiting on the toxicology report, it takes 12 weeks for that? Because that's all you gave us. You didn't do an autopsy. It makes no sense. But that's how long it took them to come up with a cover-up with a bunch of baby lies. Because these lies, like they made, these came up from dumb kids, dumb children.
So have they considered the case closed? Is Brother Danye's case, as far as the police investigators concerned, do they consider the case closed, or is it still an active investigation?
No.
To them, it's closed. That's it.
That was the first. That was the lie. That's the first lie they told us, that it was an active investigation. There was no active investigation. They have found it as a suicide. That's what they have it under.
Okay.
Hanging by suicide.
So they never considered it an investigation. They never said, okay, we're actively investigating this.
You know what? The day of, they definitely did say, because of the type, or because of the scene, that they would do a full investigation. They didn't do any investigation.
Well, of course, that was BS.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what they've been feeding us since day one.
Yeah, and that's because we were saying after that, because I was in the house after I saw him. After I had found them out there, I ran in the house and I fell to the ground and I couldn't get back out there. But my brother and husband, they sat out there and they looked at it and they said, since that moment on, something didn't look right.
And it's on the recording.
It's on the recording. He said, this looks like a setup.
And the operator was extremely rude.
What she said was, this is no setup, sir, and hung the phone up.
Let me ask you this, and you don't have to answer this either if you don't want to, but do you think, because this is what I think, my opinion, I think they're dragging their feet and putting up all these smoke screens and have you and your family chasing your tail because of who you are. That's just what I believe.
Yeah.
I believe it's because of who you are.
That's what the whole laughing is about. That's what all that laughing and looking at me grinning and laughing, and I mean like it was a party out there, because they felt like this was finally gonna shut me up. Because it has a lot of families. It has. But they thought that this was going to finally shut Melissa McKinney up. And I wish the hell I would. After you done came up in my house and took my baby. They're dumb. And I will tell them to their face, they're stupid and dumb. Cowards.
That's right.
And Brother Maurice and his wife, his lovely wife, they came and they just stepped up and they've been going hard. They've been going hard, harder than people that are so-called strong activists and leaders and fighters and warriors. They done crawled under a rock and hiding.
They're afraid.
Little things to be seen and heard, but ain't ready to fight a real fight. This is a real fight.
That's right.
All that Black Lives Matter and all that mess, that rah, 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 anybody could be a cheerleader.
That's right.
If you got a loud enough voice, put in the work. Put them boots on the ground. Let me see you do something for real, for real. Come face to face with the enemy and still stand your ground.
That's right.
Let me see that.
So maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead here, but I have to ask you this, Lady Melissa. Will this deter you in the future? Will this, I mean, you know, because I'm a true believer that it directly has to do with who you are as a person. Um, People know who you are. Like I said, I can Google your name. And do you think that what has happened to Brother Danye has it given you a different outlook on, like, you know, you being the activist and advocate that you are, especially now seeing that all the people that you align yourself with, you know, in other people's name have not shown up for you in Danye's name? Has it changed your view of the whole thing? Has it changed your view of this stuff on a whole, on us as a whole, as people?
No, no. What it has changed is how I'll continue to fight for my people. You know what I'm saying? Um, will I stop fighting for my people? No. This just pushed me harder because now I really have some pain behind it. Personally, really have some pain behind it. Because honestly, and you can look it up, I've always said that this is my biggest fear. My biggest fear was is if it happened to one of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it. I said that's why I fight. People ask, why are you so passionate? Why do you go so hard? And I said, because this, Lord forbid, this could have been one of my sons. Um, and it would kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And um, and it is. Now, now I, you know, now I'm on the other side. You know, now I'm a parent. That, um, this is horrible. It's horrible. You know, to wake up and normally having my son come up those stairs. You know, good morning, mom, or I yell down the steps, Danye. You say, ma'am, turn that light off. Yes, ma'am. I still do that sometimes, you know. I still yell down there, Danye. I haven't heard anything yet. You know, I just want to hear. I want to hear his voice. I want to hear him say something to me. I know. I want to hear him. I want to see him. This is frustrating. It's frustrating. But they done pissed me off. Yeah. These tears is frustration because I want to put my hands on them. They done pissed me off.
Well, once again, I have to, you know, I have to give you credit. I mean, because I don't even think that if I was in your position right now, I'd be able to, you know, answer questions, you know, of some dude, you know, with a radio show. asking me. So I give you a lot, I give you a lot of credit, for coming up and, answering these questions and talking to us. And I just really appreciate it. I do. I mean, I really, really do. Because, I mean, you don't have to do this. You're going through a lot right now, more than most of us could ever possibly imagine. And for you to still find the strength to come and talk to a bunch of strangers because you don't know me and you don't know my audience, it's commendable. I mean, it's commendable. And we wanted this story to get out. We wanted you on here. We wanted to hear this. We know we didn't want to make you cry now. We didn't want to do that. But we did want to ask you some questions. And you've answered them.
You didn't make me cry. This is life that's making me cry.
Okay.
Life and death. This just comes with the territory. Even this comes with the territory of being a parent sometimes.
Well, let me ask you a tough question. Okay. This is a tough question. And you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But I'm going to ask it anyway, because I believe, even though I'm not there where you live at, I believe somebody did this to that young brother. That's what I believe. Okay. And until I see something incredibly different, that's what I'm going to believe, that someone did this to this young fella. Now, I also believe that one day you are going to find out who did this to that young brother. So the question I put to you is, what if the people responsible look like us? What if they're some of us who did this to Brother Danye?
I believe that there were a couple of people that look like us that were involved. And were you asking me what am I prepared to do?
Yeah, like, I mean,
I can't say none of that on here.
what if with that?
I would do probably what y'all would do.
No, what I'm asking you is, would that change things for you if you found out that it was, people who look like us who did this to this brother? Would that change things for you? Would that make you look at us differently?
No. 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 Because look at me. I'm still black. My mama's still black. My daddy's still black. My baby's still black. So I'm gonna love us to the day I die. I'm gonna fight for us to the day I die. Them ruined rotten apples. They just they. mm, I it's, they're just I can't say that, but yeah, hey, can't nobody tell me, look, yeah, they just probably had it hard at the time, or something was wrong. They had to do what they had to do. Well, I'm a mama. I'm Danye's mama. You killed my son, and I'm just gonna do what I have to
Yeah.
Yeah, we can understand that. We can understand that. Well, the reason why I asked that is because, I mean, we live in a time now where, of course, we have to watch white folks. Okay, we gotta watch white folks, but unfortunately, sometimes we have to watch each other too.
do.
And there's often situations that happen in our lives where, it's quick for us, it's easy for us to get away with things because the first place we look is the white folks.
Right.
You understand? A lot of times we look at the white folks sometimes, as which we should, but sometimes we have to look at ourselves as well, because we have a tendency to get ourselves in cahoots with white folks, because there's a lot of turncoats out there. Okay, unfortunately, there's some turncoats out there who will sell you out to the white man like that. Unfortunately, they will sell you out to the white man like that. And I find it hard to believe that this young brother could have had that done to him without some other brothers being involved. That's just me. That's just what I think. You know, from what I've read, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, from what I've heard from Brother Muhammad, from what I've heard from everything else that I've read about Brother Danye's story, I find it hard to believe that this could have happened to this young man without some brothers being involved. Some black somebody was involved with this too. Now maybe the white folks had the master plan. I don't know, but I really believe that some black folks was involved with it too. That's just what I believe. Hopefully I'm proved wrong in the future. Hopefully I'm proved wrong in the future, but I just think that some of us have something to do with it too.
Okay, so I don't know if you or any of the viewers believe in people with gifts, like that see things. They call themselves like seers or something. Just hold on a minute. But at first it was questionable for me, you know, until this sister that we've known for a good while, until she told us some things, right? And she's my brother. He was gonna marry this woman, and she's gifted, you know. And the things that she told us, oh, it will give you chills because she knew so much, you know. And a lot of things has come to pass also, you know. But I would rather my brother, you know, tell you exactly, you know, what was said. But yes, when she did tell us, we were sitting in our living room, and she described these people to the T, and don't even know them. And the way that they were acting at that time, it just gave us, it just let us know. You know what I'm saying? And there, we know some things. You know, we know some things. And yes, there were some of us involved. Yeah. Daniel, Brother Maurice, I want. Can you put that fire? You know.
Oh yes, ma'am. You know, as I was sitting here listening, you know, I think it was the last live that I did titled "Your Role in the Race War," and towards the end of the video, I got into the video of Detective Anders. And we went through and talked about him and his role in Danye's case. And we all should understand, and we all should know that this war that we are in is real. And there is no sideline for us. There is no sideline. You can sit and call yourself an American all day. You can call yourself an American all day, all night. In reality, you're not an American. You're a victim of Americanism. You're not an American. You don't have the rights and the protections that Americans have. And the sooner we get that reality and understand that, because understand that whenever they can come and hang Danye and laugh and think it's funny and say, oh, it's just a suicide, then that means they can come in your house. They can come in my house. Ain't none of us safe. Ain't none of us safe. So we got to realize that we got to change not only the way we think, but the way that we act, the way that we respond, and the way that we proactively make decisions and carry those decisions out. We can never live in a false reality and continue to say, we shall overcome. That's what you're continuing to do. You may not realize that you're out there actually singing we shall overcome. But when you sit back and know what's going on and you refuse to get involved, you're doing the singing. You're doing the wishing and the praying that things is going to change. But yet you're not doing anything that's meaningful that will bring a change. So another person dies, another person gets killed, and you sit back and you watch. We have to stop that. We have to stop that, and we have the power to do it. We have the power to do it. We have the will to do it. And if you don't do it, then the next time it happens, it may be you. It may be you. Because it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. How in the hell can we say we're men and we sit back and let things happen and we just turn the other cheek like it's okay? How can we say we love our people and watch us being suffering and we turn around and say, oh, it'll be okay? There are a lot of us will do, and we'll say this very quickly. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. We say that very fast. But damn it, we need you to do more than just pray. We need you to get involved. We need you to get involved, because if it was your child, you would want more than just prayers. You would want action. You would demand action. Sister Melissa has been on the front for us. She ain't been in the back. She's been on the front. So we got a duty to her. Because the duty to her, the duty to Danye is a duty to us. Because we're connected. We are all connected. And the sooner that we realize that, the better off we'll all be. Because anytime that the enemy continues to kill us and we do nothing, then that's reinforcing to the enemy to kill us some more, because we haven't woken up to the time and what must be done. So singing Kumbaya and turning the other cheek, we beyond that. We're in the time of fighting. We're in the time of standing up and saying, here am I. Put me to work. Because when you're doing that, then you're actively saving lives. You're saving lives. So if you want to be a helper in this cause, then you come on and step up. Because you never know. Sandra Bland didn't know that day when she woke up that morning that that was her last day. She didn't know that the enemy was going to grab her that day. Mike Brown didn't know it was his day. Eric Gardner didn't know it was his day. Crawford didn't know it was his day. None of us know the day. But when it's there now, then what? So we have a duty. Let's be found doing our duty as it should be done. Because this is how we can make it. Because we love one another and we're willing to stand in the breach. And if it means that we got to take heads, then God damn it, then let's do it. Then let's do it. We can't continue playing games. When they decided that they were going to be free from Europe, and it wasn't because the Europeans was killing their children that they decided they were going to be free. It wasn't because of that. It was because of paying taxes to a king that they decided, to hell with this. Let's challenge him. Let's go to war because we don't want to give him our money. Do you mean to say that we don't love our children enough that we will go to war with the enemy over the lives of our children, over the lives of our people, that we were willing to say, kill us some more? Hell no. We got a right and a responsibility to handle our business. Because, goddamn it, they will do that to theirs. They'll handle their business and don't give a damn who don't like it. So we got to become strong like that and do what need to be done and don't give a damn who don't like it. Because it's we who gonna pay for it one way or another. It is us. It is us, the ones that's doing the crying. It's hurtful. It's hurtful for us to act there. For me, to hear Sister Melissa crying, to see her crying, to understand her pain, and the damn bastards have the nerve to laugh. Not 50 yards away, not back at the station, but on the property, damn it. On the property. Not caring. Not caring. Show up at the funeral. Not caring. Not being respectful. We got to wake up and understand the time and what must be done. They get mad with us because if you say, well, you got to kill white children, they get mad with you when you say it. And then they get you on TV and make you take it back. And make you say that I repudiate this man for saying it. Well, goddamn it, they killing our children. And you don't question that. But they'll make you take a statement back when they doing it to your children. And you run. You run to the enemy and take it back and repudiate a black man for saying it. But they do it. They do it. And we don't hear nothing. Nothing. To hell with them. And to hell with you weak niggas. That ain't got the guts to stand up for your own self. Because when you stand for Danye, damn it, you're standing for yourself. When you fight for him, you're fighting for yourself. You better understand your own self-interest. Stop being a goddamn coward. Because you will find your day one way or another. Brother Daniel.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Peace be unto you. Shalom, all that good stuff.
Well, alaikum salam, dear brother.
Yes. I didn't hear everything, but I did want to pick off where my sister left off at. I don't know how far she went into that piece about the sister who gave a lot of insight, perspective on this whole case piece. I think I shared it with you, brother Maurice, before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just for the listeners. Um, I think it was right after we realized we started putting pieces together for ourselves, using our own mathematical skills, common sense, gut feeling, and seeing what was starting not to add up. And I had spoken to this one sister who happened to be at work, um, and she didn't want to disclose what she felt um, via telephone. And the first thing she told me, and I didn't tell her any specific details about what was going on, other than the results of what I as far as how we found my little nephew. And she told me this was like the same week of the incident happened. She told me she said it was three individuals who did this, and she said she needed to talk to me in person. And she said that what was done to him was not done at our house. It was done prior to him being brought there. Um, and I was supposed to have talked to her later on that day, and that was a little bit more information that I heard anybody tell me at that particular point. Considering that she didn't ask me a lot of details, like interview questions and things of that nature, like somebody who didn't know. And so that struck my curiosity. So what I did, I contacted a sister whom I knew was very accurate in previous times before on things that I knew that she didn't know anything about using her five senses. And she had been very accurate with many different situations before, like my sister mentioned. And so I contacted the sister. That's the one my sister was referring to. And I asked her what did she see about this situation. I deliberately didn't tell her anything because I wanted her to see what did she sense or what did she see or what she was going to say. I hope I'm not too close to this thing. She told me, she said, I see a white man with overalls. She said blue jeans. Then she said with overalls. She says I see him looking at Melissa at her meetings, the protest meetings, and she said that he is watching her, and she notices him, and he wants her to muzzle her mouth. He wants her to he wants her to shut up. And she says when you mention this to her, she's going to recognize who it is because he's there at the protest meetings, but he's not participating. So I was like, she said, and she described a couple vehicles that she mentioned specific details to. And then I asked her, what do you see? Like, how did this whole thing take place? I'm sharing this right now for a purpose because she mentioned that justice won't happen in the courts. So but she mentioned that she said he didn't suffer like you think he did because he was drugged up before he was brought to the house. So that struck a chord. And my whole point, I didn't think that she was gonna go into as much details as she did because I was just trying to see if what she had to say was going to match up with the sister I just referred to you about. That was the whole point. That's what I really wanted, but I wasn't gonna tell her that I had talked to anybody else, and I just wanted to see because that would have been like a lot of coincidences. She told me that it was three individuals who actually did it. And then she went to describe that it was a nigger boy and a nigger girl who actually was used in this whole piece. And I asked her later. She said that she went and described them that way because that was the type of mentality they have. She said they was used to lure him out of the house, but they didn't know what the end result would be. And she said it was three white men who did it, and she kept using the words militia, 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 and she mentioned that it was police involvement in this whole thing as well. And she she described the specific situation going on with the nigger girl and the nigger boy as far as how they was used, and it had a court case, a dope case on them, and they was only given one piece of the puzzle, but never was told where it was going to lead to. She mentioned specific details on location as far as where it was done. Um, what else? The stuff that Melissa mentioned about as far as the indentations on his wrist. I think I heard her mention that as well. I didn't I didn't notice none of that, during the time period where we was taking him down from the tree, because I wasn't in the mind of frame to search his body like that. But when she mentioned that, I went to the morgue and took the pictures of his I took I took the pictures of him when he was still hanging. But after this, when she mentioned that, I went to the morgue and asked to raise up his shirt, his suit and the shirt, to take a picture of his wrist, and saw an indentation on his wrist. I didn't take both wrists. I did take one. I saw an indentation on his wrist, which makes sense on why they didn't do the autopsy as well. What else stands out? We didn't leave it there. We checked with a couple more individuals who had that type of insight, and they confirmed that incident. Two other individuals, we didn't let them know about the other. And one sister mentioned that it was 6 months in the making. This was planned 6 months in the making, which kind of gave us a little bit more insight. Which all us, I'm kind of leaving some things a little vague for a reason, but that corresponded with a couple people in particular whom didn't show up at the funeral, didn't call, that was closer to Danye for the nigger girl and nigger boy piece. Every time there's one of our leaders who are assassinated or something like that, like I think that's what the commentator was, brother. I don't know your name, brother.
Xavier.
Xavier. Okay, yes, sir. I think that's what you were alluding to, for your observations, as far as what you felt. Because usually when there's any one of us that comes up situation like this, is always us that are involved.
Oh yeah. Well, it's always been since I first learned about this case.
Yes,
it's
sir.
always been T.P.O.T's contention that brother Danye, and maybe I was reaching at the time, but I always thought that this happened to him somewhere else. They got him from the house, took him somewhere else, did something to him,
yes, sir,
and then brought him back. That's always been T.P.O.T's contention. He's a big strapping guy. I seen pictures of him. He looks like he's a big strapping, strong, 6 foot and some change guy. Yeah, I find it hard to believe that someone was able to take this young, strapping 20-something-year-old man and do this to him in his yard. I just find that so hard to believe, man. He had to be taken somewhere. He had to be, and it had to be more than one person, to do this to him and get him off site, because he's at his house. Like I said, he's a big strapping young guy. No one hears anything. No one sees anything. That was just very hard for me to believe that it happened there. I just think he was brought back there, and just kind of, put there. You know, that's always been TPOT's contention. And if any of y'all don't believe me, you can go back in the files and you can see I said this. All right. So that's always been our belief. I've never believed, since I've seen it, I've never believed that Brother Danye hung himself. I've never believed that. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and it shouldn't make any sense to anyone else either. But I want Lady Melissa to get to the bottom of this, and I feel like she will. I feel like she may have to walk through some smoke screens and hop some hurdles to get there. And hopefully the rest of us, myself, T.P.O.T, Brother Muhammad, and anyone else who has the damn interest can help her hop some of these hurdles and walk through some of these smoke screens to eventually get to the other side, to where the truth lies. So, I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I had her on tonight, and she's welcome to come back, you know, whenever she wants. I mean, you know, I have to apologize to her. I know I ask some tough questions at times, but I can't help it. I'm a questioner. So, you know, I didn't want to make her upset because I know she's already going through a lot, but I have to push the envelope because I'm trying to get at the truth, and I'm trying to clear some things up in my own head as well. So, you know, hopefully I didn't make her too upset, you know, tonight, you know, given everything that's going on. So, you know, I'm hoping that I didn't get her too upset.
Yeah, it was something, I don't know if she mentioned this, but he wrote a poem the day prior to the last day we saw him. I don't know if she mentioned about the poem.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, the poem. You share the poem? Hold on, I got the poem. Hold on one second. The poem that I think it was a poem that he wrote, and let me see. One second, please. You know, cause poetry, it kind of one of the things. What happened to the brother?
We're still live, bro. You go ahead.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Okay, it went black for a second. Yeah, I'm trying to find this. Yeah, I was looking for poetry because, you know, poem, you know, artwork, it kind of reveals what's on the heart. It's like for its tone scale, things of that nature. So hold on one second. Yeah, and this was the day right after, actually, and hold on one sec, I'm trying to find this poem. And the poem starts off, beautiful black righteous queen. Be patient with your brother. It starts off, beautiful black righteous queen. I'm trying to find it in my phone. Yeah, the poem. When I read the poem, because I love poetry. I do poetry myself. So when I read the poem, I knew from the time period I actually studied the poem, because this was I'm gonna have to okay, I know I can get it up. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's the poem. Excuse me. Beautiful black. Now, keep in mind, this was written. I saw him leave out that night on a Tuesday night, and he had the bag in his hand. And like the sister said, he was lured out. So he left out with a bag that had like his toothbrush, hygiene items. Just that was it. But that day before then, it was a poem that he sent off to the sister. And it says, beautiful black righteous queen, full of beauty and grace. Wear black queen, sitting high on your throne, no one can take your place. Your heart is full of pure gold. It's a love beyond a question, but a love that's out of place, out of time and out of reason, but unable to erase. In the tapestry I'm weaving, there's no differences to see. She is rising from the ocean to a love God's meant to be. And she has known a love that's good, though it's never understood. While you sleep, I tell you all the things that I keep inside throughout the day. Now you can hear, but not listen. I find them much easier to say. My hopes, my dreams, my fears, and everything in between. Your subconscious here is so keen, or so it seems. My tongue is soft. I speak so sweetly, knowing your reaction will never greet me. Tonight will be different, and what I want you to know, it has everything to do with what I can't help but show. I hold claim to a religion that you give me a place for my fate, somewhere it will never stale or lose its lavish taste. You've shown me something I can see, touch, and feel, and so before it, I choose to kneel. I know I don't say it, but I miss you every day, sitting thinking of the perfect words to be my choice. Yet when you call, I can't find any of the right words to say. Secretly protecting what is mine. You will always be my girl. I only want the best for you, so the best of me I will employ. My day will come. I know someday I'll be the only one. And you I will pursue viciously, because I've given you the greatest gift I can give, to love unconditionally. Yes, our day will come. I know someday we'll be as one. And you I will pursue viciously, because I've given you the greatest gift I can give, to love unconditionally. I hope I can be the one, my queen. And he had a ring on it too, on his picture. It's a mojo.
So he was poetic as well.
Yes, and actually, in that Tuesday, he had his headphones on, taking copious notes. In those notes was all real estate notes, stuff that it would took him a lot of time to fulfill. He was looking, and that same sister he was looking forward to spending his birthday with, which was the month right after then, on November the 19th, and his specific meal that he was looking forward to having as well.
Yeah, because Lady Melissa spoke about how your nephew was kicking off his real estate business. So I mean, she said that in the report they said something about depression, but I don't think any black man who just started a real estate business would be depressed. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I hear just doesn't make any sense. Of course, I know it doesn't make any sense to his family, and it doesn't make any sense to us either. I know it doesn't make any sense to me. And as this story rolls along, because these stories, they're like a wagon, and they're like a covered wagon. You know how those covered wagons have bales of hay in it, and as it starts to hit those bumps, those bales of hay start to fall out. See, that's how it is with the truth. See, the truth of those bales of hay. And as it starts to hit the bumps, some of those bales of truth will start rolling out. You understand? So as this story rolls along like a wagon, and these bales of truth start to bounce out from hitting these bumps, we're gonna get further and further into this. And I do see, within time that we will be back. We will be back on the air, and we will be talking about what really happened.
Oh yeah. It says whatever's done in the darkness that's a universal law. Whatever's done in darkness has to be manifest in the light. And whatever person sows, that is what they're going to reap.
Absolutely. I truly believe in that. I do, and I know I know your sisters and everyone else, you will find the truth, man, eventually. I know right now it probably seems like, you won't, and y'all just listening to some guy, with a couple of microphones and a camera right now telling you that. But I mean, I think that the truth will be revealed in time, because I'll say again, like I said earlier, the harder you try to keep the truth covered, the harder it tries to escape that cover.
Yeah,
So I mean,
real talk.
and there's not a lot we can say here at TPOT, to brother Danye's family, because we have no idea what you're going through. Only thing we can do is say, we're with you. We're not the type where we're gonna say, well, we're gonna pray for you and all that kind of nonsense. Because when people say that, they lying in it goddamn way. They ain't going home and praying for nothing, and they definitely not praying for you when they say that. But what I will say is that we got your back. And whenever you need to get on a microphone, whenever you need to get on a camera and get a message out, you have us. I will say that. You have us. Whenever you need to put something out, just like tonight, whatever time it is, whatever day of the week it is, I can tell you, you can have us. You can have this airspace, this square right here. This little tiny square is at your disposal whenever you need it. We'll say that to you. All right.
Yes, sir.
And that goes for all of you. That goes for all of you. Whenever you want to get a piece of information out, I don't care if you just want to come up here and say hello. You can do that too. We here for you. We here for you. We're gonna be here for you, and we determined to find out the truth, just like with y'all. I know y'all want to find out the truth. We determined to find it out too, and whatever we can do to help, you got this platform to come through and get the word out, get the message out. uh, uh Ask for some monetary help, ask for some physical help, ask for whatever kind of help you want. You can always get up on here and do that, and that go for your sister too. But she knows that. So I just don't, I try not to upset her, but the radio host in me can't help but to ask her questions. And hopefully I didn't upset her too much tonight.
No,
So
no, I'm ready for it all.
okay.
I'm ready for it all, and we will be back on the show to bring the 911 call
Okay.
very very soon. But
Whenever you're ready. I mean, no rush, no, whenever you feel like it. Like I said, Brother Muhammad has my information. You can hit Brother Muhammad up and say, hey, look, get in contact with OX. We're gonna do whatever. We here. We would have been on earlier, but I got my signals mixed up because brother Muhammad had actually hit me up days ago, and he wrote me through my page. And when I went to check my emails, I was like, damn, brother Muhammad wrote me like 2-3 days ago. So we kind of got our signals messed up. But once he get me, he got me. So here we are. And that, like I said, it goes for you too. So whenever you ready, whenever you feeling up to it, Lady Melissa, you can come back on, bring the family, whoever want to share something, they want to share something about. They want to share something about the story, they can. If they want to share something about some updated information, they can. If they want to share something about Brother Danye, they can. Okay. I mean, you know,
thank you.
whatever you want to share, whatever you want to get up in here and talk about, don't worry about it. It's all good. I'll set it up and that's it. So we here for you. Okay. We right
Thank you.
here on TPOT YouTube page. And you got my word on that. All
Thank
right.
you.
Because we
Thank you.
believe in doing
Love.
things. We don't believe in just talking about it. We believe in doing something. We believe in looking out for our folks. So any way we can look out for you, your family, and everybody else, we will. So, I mean, feel free to come back on here whenever you like. All right. That go for everybody. That go for the whole family.
Thank you.
All right. Anything anything else you want to tell us? Because I know you're probably tired of us by now. But anything else you want to tell us before you go?
I'm sorry. I just asked. We just asked that you all continue to, in whatever way, support us. Um, Nothing's too small or too big. So
Okay.
we thank you.
Okay. Okay. Well, we got your GoFundMe information going through the chat. I'm also going to post it. I'm gonna make sure I post it in the description box of this video when I do the processing and the mix down. So if you're watching this on the playback, look down there. You should be seeing Lady Melissa's GoFundMe page by now, because by now I have put it in there. So just go ahead and look it up and hit that. Like I said, you heard Lady Melissa. Nothing's too small, nothing's too big. Do what you can, help her out. They need money for legal expenses. They need money for a private investigator. And she said at some point they may have to move because it's unsafe up in the crib. So
And if
that
you would
alone.
like to follow me on Facebook, I don't know too much. It's simple. It's just my first name, last name, Melissa McKinney. And I also, I daily or maybe every other day I might get on there and, just tell something that I've just heard, or that page I've made that page for him now. I've dedicated my page for him. So that's all I'll be talking about on there is Danye,
Okay. So we'll make sure that's down there too. Like I said, if you're watching on the playback, and I know you are right now, look down there. You'll also see the Facebook page information, so you can go there and follow Lady Melissa's Facebook page if you want to get some updates on Brother Danye's story as well, along with her GoFundMe page. All right. So make sure you check that out and link up with me if you feel like if you want to ask some questions, or you know something. If you know something and you have the guts, let me repeat, if you know something, and I'm talking to the people in that area, because I look at my damn analytics. I know I got people in that area that listen to me. You understand? Because I don't just do this on YouTube. I also do it on a radio station. And guess what my radio station gives me? It gives me analytics of people who listen to me. And I know it's people in that goddamn area who listen to me. I know it. Y'all can sit in the chat room and hide, or you won't. I know you listen. If you got the guts, if you got the damn guts to say something that you know, and you don't want to go to that family directly, you can hit me up. Because if you listen to me, you have my information. You can hit me up and I'll pass it along. But like I said, if you got the guts, that is. If you got the guts. Lady Melissa, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. And like I said, I'm going to make sure, your information is down there, and people will be able to follow you. They'll be able to donate to your GoFundMe page. And I'll say once again, thank you. I commend you for coming on tonight. I know it had to be hard, and it's I know it's tough. I know it's a tough time for you, and it takes a lot of gumption and a lot of courage and strength to come up here and talk to me, because I'm not the easiest person to get along with or the easiest person to listen to. So I know it was rough. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your whole family. I appreciate y'all, and we're gonna stay on this. Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. Peace.
Peace. Love you, bro.
Love you too, Queen.
I don't know how.
Yeah. So once again, go ahead, look right over here. Okay, in this box over here. All right. 777 has been so kind to be 777 be on their game. You know what I'm saying? They be on their game. Shout out to 777s up in here. As you can see, 777 and put all the information up there for the GoFundMe page, and if you blind and you can't look over to your right and see that, you'll be seeing it down here. You're already seeing it if you're watching the playback, by the way. You're already seeing it down there, and her Facebook page as well, so you can check out the updates, what's going on with Brother Danye's case. I really appreciate Lady Melissa and her brother and sister coming on tonight and giving us a little info and kind of confirming some things that I always thought from the beginning. But you know me, I'm very opinionated, and you know, old X thinks what he thinks, you know, and I feel that we will get to the bottom of this, y'all. I just think we're going to get to the bottom of it. It may take a little time. These things usually do, but I think we're going to get to the damn truth, and those responsible will be held to account. All right? They will be held to account. They ain't getting away with this shit. They're just getting away with it now. They haven't gotten away with it. They're getting away with it now. That's what I believe. It's just me. And don't give me no hate mail, but that's what I believe. Brother Muhammad, I appreciate you too, man. Bringing this through, brother. You know, man. You know I got a lot of respect for you too, my brother. Any last words before we peel out of here, brother Muhammad?
Yes, sir, big brother. I just want to tell you thank you. Thank the viewers and those who come back and watch it on demand. Also, you know, because it's a heavy burden. You know, it's definitely a heavy burden to deal with subjects like this. And, you know, you, the information man, the radical sister, you know, y'all did not turn away. Y'all did not turn away at all. You know, y'all were like, come on, let's do it. And I appreciate that so much. I really do, because you just would not believe the people that would say no. You know, we've been dealing with different cases, and you know, I've reached out to different people to ask them to help with this and that, and the reasonings for their rejections would blow some of our minds. But, you know, in order for us to get justice, or in order for us to get peace, you know, we have to have justice. And in order for us to have justice, somebody has to tell the truth. And that's what you're doing. You're allowing our Queen Melissa to come up and tell the truth. And we thank you for that. We thank you for your sacrifice of your time and your energy and your platform to allow her to get up, to allow us to get up. And so, family, I just thank you all. And let's continue to fight, because this ain't over until the enemy is eradicated off the planet.
That's right. This ain't over, man. Open your minds. That is our slogan here. Open your minds and realize that this is not over.
That's right.
It's not. It's not over, y'all. All right, brother Danye, case ain't over neither, because we're going to stay on this one. Y'all know we stay on these things, and we're going to stay on this one too. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. We're going to stay on it right here on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page. You know. Once again, I want to thank you, brother Muhammad, man. It's always a pleasure, man, to have you around, man. That fire that you bring to everything, man, is, you know, I say again, man, I hold you in such high respect, brother. I like the way you do things, man. I like the energy that you bring, man. And you know I'm going to be seeing you real soon, brother.
Yes, sir.
Real soon. All right. I appreciate you coming through, man. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace and blessings, bro.
Peace. Yeah. Good show tonight. Serious show tonight. Okay. Special T.P.O.T. media presentation. You know, one of those
A Prophet of God series, exclusive.
Yeah, an exclusive. Okay. And don't you be forgetting it. Once again, make sure you go hit up Sister Melissa's GoFundMe page, because they can really help us. They can really use our help right now. So go ahead, hit that up. Also, hit up her Facebook page so you can catch up with what's going on with Brother Danye's case. You heard what she said. They're going to be back. I don't know when. I guess whenever her and the family is feeling up to it, they'll be back, and she's going to be, you know, revealing some more stuff. She probably couldn't tell us everything, y'all, because, you know, because of the legal ramifications, you know, the legal counsel and all that kind of crap, and the case is still going on and all that kind of stuff. So I know there's a lot of things she probably couldn't tell us, you know, but, you know, once some of this stuff has has rolled its way down that hill of deception and made its way to the ground of truth. She'll probably be able to tell us a few more things, you know, as the case, you know, kind of goes along. I know it's a lot she probably can't tell right now, not just because of legal stuff, but, you know, a lot of that stuff probably, you know, it probably, you know, churns up memories and stuff like that, because it's fresh, y'all. It's only been a few months ago since this happened to her son. And y'all remember that when we spoke about this before, I think when Brother Muhammad was on here before, you know, a few weeks back, I spoke about how, you know, I believe that the brother was taken off of the property and something was done to him and he was brought back to the property, and then they just staged the whole goddamn thing. That's what I truly believe, because I saw the young brother and I saw pictures of him. You know, I mean, he just don't strike me as a young brother that you could just take and just get him out the door and just hang him in the backyard. I just don't believe that. You know, I just don't believe it. I believe he was taken somewhere else, maybe even possibly killed somewhere else, and just brought back and just hung up there as a freaking sign to his mother, or you know, I mean, that's just what I believe. And I think that I asked her tonight, I think that it happened because of who she is. You know, she herself is an activist advocate. You know, she's on the front lines, you know, and I think that is because of who she is why they did this to him. That's just, you know, y'all can believe what y'all want to believe, but that's what OX believe. But yeah, good show tonight, y'all. Very good show tonight. I appreciate everybody coming through, watching. You know, I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate my mods up in there. Shout out to 777. Be on it, boy. You know, appreciate that. 777s. Also, I appreciate you for showing up tonight and spending some time with us. Y'all know we don't usually get down on Mondays, but you know, I'll make a special, you know, I'll make some special considerations when it comes to something this big and something this important, you know. But we still on for this week. The Hours of Power, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. So far, I got a couple brothers slated. I just need one more for this week's Hours of Power. The DXL Thursday night, I don't even know what the DXL is going to be about. You probably have to find that out tomorrow. I'll probably release a little promo tomorrow about what the DXL is going to be about. But we on schedule. You know, we just had to do this little special exclusive right here with Lady Melissa and Brother Muhammad. I usually give y'all my spiel, but I won't give you my spiel tonight, so I'm going to spare y'all, but I'll be hitting you in the head with it Wednesday and Thursday. So don't think you're off the hook. You're just off the hook tonight because this is a special presentation. All right. So once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. And I also want to thank Lady Melissa for coming through tonight, her sister and her brother for sharing, you know, what's going on. And I definitely want to thank my brother, Brother Maurice Muhammad, for coming through and joining us tonight as well. So, with that, I will leave you with 3 words. Like I always do, open. Oh, you know what? How about we do this? I'll leave you with these 3 words. Like I always do. Open your mind. Peace, folks. See you Wednesday.
open your mind, 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 open your mind. Only from T.P.O.T.